Hey everybody, Tony Mejia here for Wager Talk with your Week 5 NFL Ratchet game, the weekly video that isolates one of the ugliest contests on the schedule and aims to make money off it. We had a perfect September with 3 total winners and opened October with a 4th straight victory this season by taking the points with the Seahawks at the Lions, and they won outright. So, including 2021's results, my Wager Talk Ratchet play is on a 16-4 run, which for you non-math people means it's hitting at an 80% clip. Let's look to keep cashing with the only game on the Week 5 slate featuring teams with sub-500 records. That's Detroit at New England. The Lions have been one of the league's most exciting teams this season, becoming 1-3 due to an inability to stop anybody. Detroit leads the NFL, averaging 35 points per game, which is fantastic, especially if you've been watching Lions football for any amount of time. They're really exciting to watch. Put up a ton of points last week against Seattle, despite the absence of DeAndre Swift and Amon-Ra St. Brown, but they got lit up by Geno Smith. So that tells you how the season is going for the Lions defense. Detroit's averaging a pace to light up scoreboards for more than any team in league history, with the exception of the 2013 Peyton Manning-led Broncos. Defensively, only the 1981 Baltimore Colts even compared to what the Lions are doing this season. They gave up the most points a game in NFL history at 33.3 and going 2-14, giving up nearly 6,800 yards, the second most ever. Aaron Glenn's Lions unit in 2022 will be historically bad if they don't improve after getting lit up by the Eagles, Commanders, Vikings, and Seahawks, and losing to each of those teams except Washington, despite Jared Goff going off on the offensive side of the ball. St. Brown and Swift could return from ankle injuries this week, and Jamal Williams has been a monster in the red zone. So really, I think Detroit's going to be able to move the ball on New England. Keep an eye on tight end T.J. Hawkinson, who comes off a breakout game and could feast, since the Patriots have surrendered touchdowns to tight ends in three consecutive games. And it's sounding increasingly likely that the Patriots are going to have to ride rookie Bailey Zappi, who set records at Western Kentucky last season after setting FCS records at Houston Baptist the season before that. And he didn't look out of his element despite his inexperience against Green Bay, leading the Patriots into an overtime against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers at Lambeau. Ultimately, they lost 27-24, but again, Zappi is one of those kids whose IQ is off the charts, and we'll see if he can physically make all the throws. Certainly, he had guys running wide open against the Green Bay secondary, so Detroit has its work cut out for it. We will see if Jacoby Myers rejoins the Patriot offense after missing the last 2 weeks. And the last 2 Patriot games have gone over. They lost 37-26 against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, lost 27-24 last weekend at Lambeau against the Packers. Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris should have huge games against the Lions' run defense that is, not surprisingly, one of the worst in the league. And it's looking like this is going to be another high-scoring game. There's no way you should ride the under on any Lions games until they prove otherwise. It's going to be a 64-degree day at Foxborough, so the weather hasn't turned to where it's bitterly cold. We're going to try to go to 5-0 on Ratchet plays by riding the over on 45.5 points between Detroit and New England. For Wager Talk, I'm Tony Mejia.